it's sort of like the first time you were to go swimming in a pool that's not really cold, but it's a little bit cool. You jump in, but if you do that every day, you jump in and go, it's actually not that cold. I'm just going to jump in, and it becomes a non-event. But when you first do it, like the water was only 72 degrees. What am I going to do? And meanwhile, you've got Michael Phelps swimming in 36-degree water. Totally different area. I'm just saying mild discomfort. And what I do in Fast This Way is I teach people, look, you have a job, probably. You're possibly a parent, and there's lots going on in your life. Fasting is a spiritual discipline when you want to do a spiritual fast, and fasting is a high performance working thing when you do it for performance. Because when your body is busy chewing up whatever food's in your gut, it's not using that energy to think or recover. It's actually using it to make more energy. So then you wake up in the morning and you say, I don't want to feel that discomfort. Nobody does. And it's okay. You don't have to suffer to fast. So then there's 3 things you can do in the morning that completely remove the pain of fasting, but allow your body to still get the fasting benefits. And that's what you would start with, so that then you don't feel like you're going to die. The discomfort isn't there. And you're sort of saying, this was the best morning I had because I never thought about food. And like, everyone can fast if you don't think about food, right?
Right, exactly. So what are those 3 things?
Okay. The lowest level one is just black coffee. Right? And the reason black coffee works, and yes, I did start a coffee company. I'm not running it anymore, Bulletproof. But the reason I'm talking about black coffee is studies from UC San Diego show that just the amount of caffeine in 2 small cups of coffee doubles your production of ketones. When you're doing even a short intermittent fast, if you can get ketones up a little bit, ketones turn on a hormone that makes you feel full, and they turn off the hunger hormone. Ghrelin is the hunger hormone, and CCK is the fullness hormone, which is made by Calvin Klein. Okay, not really. I'm kind of a nerd. So when you do that, okay, black coffee, suddenly it was a lot easier. And people know coffee suppresses hunger, but no sugar and especially no artificial sweeteners in the coffee, because that breaks your gut bacteria.
Any of them. It's stevia, you name it.
You should be okay with stevia or monk fruit, but you're not going to be okay with sucralose and aspartame and all those chemical ones. Those really are shown to cause harm, especially for weight loss. And then the second one is you can do a bulletproof coffee, which is grass-fed butter and that MCT oil blended in. And when you do that, something happens to the water that's in the coffee so that your body can more easily use that water even inside the brain. And it adds extra energy. But because it's got only fat, your body says, oh, there was no sugar, there was no protein. All of the hormones of fasting stay low. So you actually got some energy, but all of your hunger is now turned off. You're like, I just don't care about food and I have tons of energy. Meanwhile, your body says, I didn't have to digest anything. You're still fasting. And so all the fasting benefits happen, but you're relaxed. And the third thing that you can add either to water or to coffee or tea, whatever, is prebiotic fiber. And this is fiber that does not raise your blood sugar. It has a very neutral flavor. And so there's no one on earth I've ever met who can't put enough of this very healthy fiber that feeds your good gut bacteria in with some butter and some MCT and some coffee. You blend it up and you drink that. You're thinking, I am so not interested in food right now. But the body says, I didn't get any sugar. I didn't get any protein. Therefore, I'm going to be in fat burning mode and I'm going to do the benefits of fasting. Tomorrow morning, if you do this, Danica, you will simply not care about food. And when lunchtime comes, you're going to say, I guess I could eat. And it's going to be so liberating you wouldn't even believe it.
Prebiotic fiber, first off, because I've seen a couple of products, and I actually bought one the other day because I'm doing all kinds of testing, all kinds of gut health reset, all kinds of things going on, which is fascinating stuff. And I've been diving in pretty deep, but it always has a carbohydrate. Is that correct? Or at least the one that I found and the ones that I've seen, it always seems like a prebiotic has a carbohydrate base. Is that true?
Prebiotics are always made out of carbohydrates. Right. And that's okay though, because we have these stories that became a part of our cultural view, like we have to get our macros, or how about this one, protein's good for you, or better yet, plant-based protein's good for you.
Right. Oh, I've gone round and round about all that too. Didn't everybody try vegan for a minute? I know.
It made me really sick. Man.
I did not enjoy it either.
But here's the funny thing. My favorite plant-based protein is sarin, the nerve gas that was used in the Tokyo. It comes from beans. So not all proteins are good for you, and not all plant proteins are good for you. By the way, don't eat spider venom, which is an animal protein. So suddenly you're going, wait,
like a good idea.
Maybe different proteins do different things. Maybe different carbohydrates do different things too.
Got it.
And right. And the cool thing with prebiotic fiber is that the body cannot digest it even a little bit. So from your body's perspective, it's invisible. It doesn't count as a carb.
It's just a filler?
There's two sorts of fiber. There's soluble fiber, which is prebiotic, and then there's coarse fiber, like sawdust. And your body will feel the sawdust to a certain point because it provides like space. But when you eat the prebiotic fiber, it has no flavor, and the more of it you eat, the longer you're likely to live. Your gut bacteria, the good guys, like, yes, let's have a party. And they start to replicate. And as they digest it, they convert it into a short chain fat called butyric acid that is ketogenic and is really good for your gut and really good for your brain. So now
I'm so glad I bought this the other day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's totally fine that it has carbs in it unless it has sugar or unless it has digestible carbs. And this idea that prebiotics are super filling is well supported by research. And this anti-aging effect by feeding your good gut bacteria, we would all live longer if we had more than 20 grams of soluble fiber a day. And most of us don't get that in our diet. I take 60 grams a day. In other words, in the morning, I put a couple scoops in my coffee and it disappears. And then I've had more fiber than almost anyone else. And it tastes the same. And then my body's just not interested in food.
I remember going down to Mexico, down to Tulum, and I think I heard that they believe that there's two brains, one in the stomach and one in the brain, like one up here, one down there, the two brains.
And one in the heart too.
One in the heart, yeah.
Yeah.
Where does collagen fit into that? Because this morning what I did actually, because I was like, I'm going to have, so I put in some MCT oil. I put in a little bit of, it was a vanilla ghee. I don't know if it has to be grass-fed butter, but what I had was vanilla ghee and regular. So I used the vanilla for fun. And I put some collagen in it. So where does that fit in to add collagen? Is that not part of the protocol? Is that a different kind of supplementation?
I am probably the world's biggest fan of collagen. And the reason collagen is a big rage is that 10 years ago, I started really pushing this as we missed this. And it's become, a commonplace ingredient. Before that, it was not used for health. And if you are trying to lose more than, say, 20 pounds, or your metabolism is sort of stuck and sluggish, there's a case for having protein in your coffee for a month. So when you wake up, you have 20 or ideally 40 grams of protein. That'd be 4 scoops of collagen right after you wake up. And you do that to reset your body's leptin and ghrelin sensitivity. But that's not fasting. That's telling your body, hey, it's a circadian timing. Like wake up. It's time for you to learn how to metabolize protein and fat. When you're doing intermittent fasting, collagen or any other protein will break the fast. So what I recommend people do, if you wanted to have breakfast that morning, don't have carbs for breakfast. They just make you hungry later. Have carbs for dinner so you can sleep better. So in the morning, a really good, amazing breakfast is you have some butter, you have some MCT, you can have coffee or tea, whatever you like, and you can throw collagen in there. It's in your coffee mug, you're out the door, or you can drink it at your desk, but it's really satisfying. And the collagen, of course, hair, skin, bones, joints, it's a necessary protein that unless you drink bone broth or something, you just don't get in the West. Or you eat pig's ears. Like there's weird stuff, traditionally chicken feet and pig's ears and all, but I don't know about you, those aren't my normal diet.
Yeah, let's not eat the pig's ears.